Badwell, good morning. Joseph Thomas here. The Rosicrucian berth, you did indicate that plans are afoot to have that up and ready for the season or for the balance of the season starting January. Um, how close are we? Because I passed it this morning, I didn't seem to see anything that was indicative of um, works going on. So I know you said that as soon as you get the material in place, but how soon will that be? Because we're in December and January is just what, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, two to 3 weeks away. So,
Well, you have not seen the western side of the port, so I guess you're looking on the eastern side of the port. But I talked about the fenders being installed, and I can say to you with all assurance that we have installed new fender systems that were damaged during Hurricane Maria. We've reinstalled brand new fenders on there, and we have people, in fact, working on the site, ensuring that all the fenders are secure.
oh,
The lumber that you talked about is being shipped, and in terms of the installation, that based on the contractor can be done very quickly, given the fact that the manner in which it has to be installed. Once we have all the equipment, it can be installed within a short time frame.
so what date in January are you looking to have the facility ready for the
But
birth
we
of
have
the
vessels that have already indicated their dates for us in January, and we are very, very hopeful that everything will be in place for those vessels' arrival.
Okay. In terms of you made mention of the vessel ships or the what's the proper terminology for that? Um, they are expected to be arriving soon. You expect a third one on the 18th of December. Some 90. Vehicle carriers, right? Beautiful. Some 97 vehicles are expected, and a further one
97 was received
was received already. A further 150 expected.
on Monday,
That's coming in on Monday.
this Monday.
But you have a challenge, you say, with the space,
Yes, sir.
right? From a technical standpoint, how can that be arranged? Because it seems as if, to me, that you are having problems. You want to get the people to move their vehicles as quickly as possible. What can you say to the public in terms of speeding up this process?
Well, based on movement of clearing of vehicles, then persons have to have the necessary documentation. You need to have a bill of lading, you need to have all the documentation required to clear customs. That process, if you are going through the customs, once you have all your documentation in hand, because the vehicle companies have to send you the bill of lading in advance, and once you have those documents and all the necessary documents for customs, you can pre-clear that vehicle, have all the documents logged through the ASIC, the world system of customs, and be ready so that when the vehicle arrives, the same day or the following day, that vehicle can be cleared. There are drawbacks to some persons in the sense that some persons are awaiting duty-free concessions. Some persons may have problems with their documentation, and that sometimes is a challenge for some persons who have to leave their vehicles there for a longer period. Some persons may have challenges with customs in terms of their declarations, and that too can delay vehicles from moving out of the compound. But for us, the challenge is to really find the requisite space for storing the vehicles within the time frame. I can say to you shortly that we have been looking at it. We have an alternate site that we are going to use on Monday to ensure that we can have those vehicles safely stored. And we are only hoping that the movement of those vehicles would go at a faster pace than we've seen happening in the past.
All right, let's deal now with the containers. You have quite a bit of containers on the port. 956, you said?
Came in for the private sector?
Came in from the private sector. You have 103, 113, sorry, that have been or are
came in for
Cons-
individual consignees cargoes.
individual consignees. 101 of those have been unstuffed.
That is correct.
So you're doing pretty good as far as that is concerned. But
Well,
my-
every week we're still getting more. Every week, hopefully, we have a vessel coming with, I think on Friday, with about 90 containers. And then as the week goes on, we have vessels coming probably with another 150. So that tells you how quickly it adds up, going back up. But what we're trying to do is to reduce the number as low as possible so that when the additional ones come, there's not too long a time between which we can have them unstuffed.
But there are persons who still complain that they're getting difficulty in getting their barrels and whatever it is out of the port. They say there's a tardy process that goes on, and they don't quite understand, and they blame you for that.
Well, I would say that two things exist here. One, we have a certain amount of storage space which we have to be able to take cargo out of containers and have them stored for individual packages. And like I indicated, we have been doing quite a fair job in terms of ensuring that those containers are de-stuffed. But it depends on the amount of covered storage that you have. And that's why we are urging persons to come in to clear their cargo and possibly give us, say, telephone numbers or contact numbers that persons can be reached, because we are not permitted to publish names publicly of goods that have arrived on the port. So we cannot now give you a list of persons in, say, if we take any area in Dominica, in Portsmouth, La Plaine, Granby, we do have items on the port which persons have not claimed for some time, since after Maria, and we're asking persons to come, go to ask their families which are the agencies, and we're hoping that they can come to the port and have them cleared, because that is definitely a problem when we see cargo remaining there for well over a week to 2 weeks, and that hampers us now being able to de-stuff the containers at the rate they're coming, to be able to store them in the transit sheds. We are looking for the Christmas season to get temporary storage within the port, put in some additional temporary storage, because we know that especially from those persons, St. Thomas, St. Croix, and I say that because they send in consolidated containers of cargo for their families, and that happens not only during the Christmas season, but it happens during every seasonal event in Dominica that they do so. And we want to facilitate them because we know that they move that cargo very, very quickly, and we want to facilitate them to be able to do that. And we will make every effort to facilitate them to get their goods before the Christmas season is over.
All right, going back to the Melville Hall, Douglas Charles Airport.
Charles, yes.
Yeah, Douglas Charles Airport. You gave some numbers with regards to traffic going in and out of Douglas Charles. Do you expect increased traffic for the Christmas season?
Well, we would expect, and the invitation is to the people in the diaspora, obviously, to come home and spend the time or in the warm weather, especially so, because we understand that the cold has started very, very harshly this year. But we're depending on the support of the diaspora, especially those times. It is a time for family and friends, and we would like them to come and share with us and to provide the necessary support to their families and friends in Dominica, especially at the time of now.
The last time you were here, Mr. Badwell, I asked about the facility at Douglas Charles with regards to some damage that was done to some tower, I think,
Yes,
at Captain Rose. I know you said that the investigations are ongoing, but do you have an update for us on that?
No, I have no updates. That is something that is strictly within the realms of the police force in terms of any updates when it comes to those matters, and I would press that with them. Thank you.
Chief Executive Officer of the Dominica Air and Seaports Authority, DASPA, Binwa Badwell, Thank you very much. More and more, we get to understand the importance of the movement of both people and cargo and how it impacts not only the economy but several sectors. And we thank you for that update. Thank the media here, those of you following also via the broadcast stations as well as via the Prime Minister's Facebook page. One and all, thank you once again and have a great day.